Hi, I thought as it's session number 20, a bit of a landmark occasion, that we would start off on the floor. My son-in-law, who is very valuable in that I couldn't do these videos without his technical assistance, suggested that I do it in fancy dress. Sorry Jeremy, decided I'm really not Joe Wicks. So we'll just carry on as normal. So if you just want to gently roll down onto your back, the best way you know how, maybe stretch out one leg, bend the other leg, tuck the pelvis under, hold on to the leg that's bent and just roll gently down. Bring your chin down over the beach, take a moment to set this up. Little grape in the small of your back and orange width between the knees, keeping the pelvis stable and level, relaxing the neck and the shoulders. Then just practicing the Pilates breathing to start off with, breathing full and wide into the rib cage. As you breathe in and breathing out to release the rib cage down. So the rib cage expands out and up. As you breathe in and breathing out, it just relaxes back down. And as you breathe out, press the tummy button into the backbone so that you can expel a little bit more of that stale air out of the bottom of your lungs. Maybe breathing in for the count of 4 and breathing out for the count of 5, just to expel that little bit more air out of the bottom of your lungs. So continue with that Pilates breathing and then just do a nice shoulder shrug. Squeeze the shoulders up as you breathe in and breathing out to stretch down. So bracing the tummy, pressing the tummy button into the backbone with each and every out breath. Pulling up as you breathe in, breathing out to stretch down. Start to warm up the shoulders. Nice and smooth. Shoulders right up into the ears, reaching towards the toes. Keeping the chin down over the peach. And then stretching the fingertips towards the toes, reaching the arms up, bringing the hands into prayer position. And then peel that right arm away. Turn the head, look along the arm, and breathe in to bring the arm back. And then go into that left side. Turn the head, look along the arm, and breathe in to bring it back. But nothing moving below the waist. Keep that tummy zipped up and hollowed. And hold onto that orange between the knees. Back of the pelvis stays glued down. Getting some flexibility into the neck and the shoulder, reaching up towards the ceiling. Turning the head as far as you can comfortably. And then gently swapping to the other side. Maybe exhale it down, inhale it back, or the other way around, whichever works better. It's working with you breathing. And then one more time either side, turn the head and bring it back. And then again, turn the head, bring it back. And bringing the arms back down by your side, stretch the fingertips towards your toes to encourage the length in the neck. And then go with a pelvic tilt. Maybe exhale to tilt and inhale to release. In other words, you're crushing that grape which is in the small of your back, keeping the feet rooted right into the floor. Holding onto the orange, make sure the chin doesn't tilt back and drop your peach. So keep the chin down all the time, keeping that length through the back of the neck. Maybe scooping out the tummy as you exhale, inhale, hold. Pull up the pelvic floor as you breathe out and breathing in, just release them all. But when you release, make sure that you take it to about 30%. So you've always got a little bit of a pull up and a pull in. So you're breathing out, press your back into the mat, hold to breathe in. And then breathing out, squeeze up between the legs, that hammock of muscle from the front to the back between the legs. And then as you breathe in, at the end of that in-breath, you release and let it go. So just isolate the tummy, then isolate the pelvic floor, holding it briefly and then release, but always to that 30%. Always got that bit of a pull up and a pull in. Crushing the grape, bring the hip bones into the bottom of the rib cage, scoop out the tummy, pull up tight, tight, tight between the legs, and then just release. And then maybe one more time. Pressing down, pulling up and hold, and then release. But releasing it to that 30%. Little grape back in the small of your back, tray of marbles balanced across the pelvis. And then just hug the right knee into the chest. and rotate your ankle. Nice circling with the ankle. And then change direction and make that circle go the other way. Hugging the leg in, we'll get a bit of a stretch through the buttocks and getting some flexibility into that ankle. And then replacing the foot to the floor and hug the other leg in. Get a little stretch going on and then circle the ankle. Try and keep everything else as stable as you can, keeping the glass of Prosecco balanced on that right knee. Changing direction, make it go the other way. Hopefully not too many creaks and crunches going on in that ankle joint. Just warming it up. And then replacing the foot to the floor, holding that there. Reaching the arms up towards the ceiling, and then rotate your knees over to the right while the upper body and the arms go to the left. Hold to breathe in. Breathing out, bring it back up to center. Hold to breathe in, and breathing out, take it the other way. Take the knees as far over as you can, while keeping those shoulder blades down. Lifting up on the out breath. Hold on the in, and then out breath, you take it the other way. Maybe going just that little bit further with each one. Nice big rotation through your spine and of course your neck. Reaching over and let the knees go in the opposite direction. The breathing is exhale, out, inhale, hold and stretch, and then exhale to bring it back up to center. Then maybe one more time, just encouraging that flexibility into the neck as well. And back to center. Bringing the arms back down. Reach for your toes. Little grape in the small of your back. Trade marbles across the pelvis again. Keep that rib cage knitted right down. And then take a breath in, and as you breathe out, lift the right knee up into tabletop position. And then breathing in, straighten the leg up, flex the foot, push the heel away from your point toes towards the tummy. And then push down as if you're pushing down through some thick custard. When the heel touches the floor, you slide the foot back in, and you go with the other leg. Exhale to lift, inhale, straighten. Flex the foot, feel the stretch in the back of the leg. And then push down as if you're pushing down through that custard. And then slide the leg back in. So it's exhale to lift, inhale, straighten, flex, and then push down. And then when the heel touches the floor, you slide the foot in. And then swap to the other side. The whole time you're doing this, make sure the pelvis does not rock from side to side. Now my foot is just off the end of the mat there. So I'm going to just shuffle up a little bit so that when I slide the leg in, I can create a little bit of resistance against the floor to make the hamstring work. So you do exhale up, inhale, straighten, flex. Exhale, push down. Inhale, slide back in with that little bit of resistance against the floor. Then you swap to the other side. Hip flexor, quadricep, and then as you push down, you're lengthening and strengthening the hip flexor, getting some stretch through the hamstring and the calf. And then as you slide in, the hamstring is working. Just a lift, straighten. Make sure that when you push down, that the back does not arch off the grape. And then when you lift the leg up, you make sure the pelvis doesn't tilt and crush the grape. So it's just a lift, straighten, flex. Buttock working as you control the speed as you push the leg down. Sliding in. And then maybe one more time either side, getting lots of flexibility into the hip and the knee and the ankle. But also really switching on those core muscles to make sure that the pelvis stays absolutely stable. And in fact, your whole torso stays absolutely stable while you do this. And then bringing the feet back underneath the knees. Go back to that pelvic tilt. Breathing in this time to tilt and breathing out to release. Breathing in to tilt, keeping the chin down, and then adding in a bridge. Breathing in to tilt, breathing out to pick the hips up, push up, hold, nice straight line from knee to shoulder, hold on to the orange, and then link by link, bone by bone, you imprint you back into the mat. Crush the grate, tilt the pelvis back into neutral, start again. Breathing in to tilt, breathing out, peel off like a bicycle chain. Hold up at the top. Feel those buttocks clench. And then gently, gently scooping out the tummy, link by link. You put each bone down onto the floor. You crush the grate, tilt the pelvis back into neutral. Put a new grate in and start again. Try not to lose the orange as you push up. Make sure you've got that nice straight line going on all the time. And the feet are rooted into the floor. Don't forget that pelvic floor as well. Maybe breathing in to tilt, crush the grate, breathing out, pick up the hips and pull up between the legs. Remember that hammock of muscle that you used to stop yourself going to the loo in an appropriate moment? Hold it there, and then link by link, you gently take it back down again. Now you might have lost your pelvic floor by now, but that doesn't matter, you just start again. Breathing in to tilt, breathing out, pick up hips, pick up pelvic floor. Just articulate your spine all the way up. Getting lots of flexibility into that backbone. And then you tilt the pelvis back into neutral, you start again. Feel those hamstrings work, as well as pulling up that pelvic floor, buttocks clenching at the top, balancing, core muscles working. And then gently, gently bring it back down. And then hugging the knees into the chest. Maybe bring the head up into the knees to nose to knees. Hug in. You can always wrap the arms round, one arm round a leg, other hand behind the head, and just make yourself into a ball. Make the spine go the other way, therefore encouraging even more flexibility into your spine. And then from there, just putting one foot down, then the other foot down, letting the head and the shoulders rest. Reaching for your fingertips. Take a moment to set up again. Chin down over peach, little grape in the small of your back. Trade marbles across the pelvis. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, lift one knee up into tabletop. Press the back into the mat. Lift the other leg up into tabletop. Now relax the back, but brace the tummy. Got the great back underneath. And then from there, do exactly the same as you did before. Lifting legs straight. Flex the foot. And push down through the thick custard, but without allowing the back to arch. Slide the foot in and pick the leg up to tabletop again. Then you go to the other leg, maybe breathing in, straighten and flex. Exhale, push down. Create resistance against the floor as you slide leg in on the in-breath, and out-breath, you lift the leg back to tabletop. And repeat. Straighten leg, flex and push down. Slide in, making sure that when you lift the leg up, the back does not tilt and crush the grape. And when you push the leg down through that thick custard, your back does not arch off the grape. This is exactly the same as before, but you start with the tabletop, making that a lot more challenging to keep your pelvis absolutely stable with that tray of marbles on there. Again, getting flexibility into the hips and the knees, the ankles, but principally really targeting those deep abdominal muscles now. Pushing down, creating that resistance against the floor to make those hamstrings work. Nice and smooth, keeping the torso as stable as you can. If this is too much, of course, you start off at exactly the same position as you did before with the feet on the floor. You can revert to that level if you need to. And maybe just one more time on the other side. And flex and push down. Slide back in, lift up, keeping that pelvis absolutely stable. And then just hug those knees into the chest. Maybe have a little rock side to side. And release the back. Then put your hands on tops of the knees, pushing them around in a circle. Again, that will help to release that lower back, first one way, and then the other way. And then coming back to your start position, putting one foot down, the other foot down. And then breathing in to tilt the pelvis, breathing out to pick the hips up off the floor and push up into the bridge. Again, so knees are going straight forward. Hold to breathe in and breathing out, link by link, bone by bone. You come back down, tilt the pelvis back into neutral, put a new grape in, start again. Breathing in to tilt, breathing out to pick up, articulating your spine, balancing at the top, and then gently, gently bringing it back down again. Now we're going to see if we can join those two exercises together. Breathing in to tilt, breathing out to pick the hips up. Hold up at the top. And breathing in, lift the knee up to tabletop. And extend the leg, flex and push down through the thick custard. Slide in, keeping those hips up if you can. And on the other side, just a lift, straighten, flex, push down, slide in, and then you come down, link by link, bone by bone. Now, of course, if that's too much, what you could do is you could do just the bridge and come back down again, and then do the legs separately, maybe one on each leg separately. Otherwise, try to join them together. Make sure you've got your heels directly underneath the knees. Breathing in to tilt, breathing out to pick up. Hold on the in-breath and lift the knee up. And extend, flex and push down. Slide in. Feel those buttocks work. Make sure the hips don't drop. Remember, you can use your monitoring system. Thumb up into the buttocks, little finger on the floor, and make sure those hips don't drop. Then you remove your monitoring system and gently bring it back down, holding onto that orange again so the shoulders, hips, knees, the ankles are aligned. Breathing in to tilt, breathing out to pick up. Put the monitoring system underneath the buttocks and the fleshy part of the buttocks, and then lift, straighten, flex, push. Slide in, straight away to the other side if you can, or you could always go down, have a rest, and then push up again and do the other leg. Just do one leg at a time. Remove the monitoring system and gently come down, or you can just do the bridge and then the legs separately. One more time maybe. Breathing in to tilt, breathing out to pick up. Monitoring system underneath, holding that nice straight line as you lift, extend, flex, push down. Keep those hips up high. You'll know your hips are dropping if you're crushing your thumbs. Straight up, flex, push down, slide in, remove the monitoring system, and gently, gently down. Now you can do more if you feel you want to. Otherwise, hug the knees into the chest, bring the head up into the knees, nose to knees, knees to nose. Hug in nice and tight to make yourself into that ball again. Stretch your spine and your buttocks. And then release, putting one foot down, the other foot down. Lift the right knee up into tabletop. Sorry, not tabletop, just hug the knee into the chest. And then straighten the leg up towards the ceiling. Ease the leg towards the body, just to get that stretch through the hamstring. Ease it in. And then you can extend the other leg to keep the buttock down, to lengthen that hamstring a little bit more, but if that knee bends, then of course you would slide the leg back in again. Ease it in. And then just replace the foot and change legs. Hug in first of all. Get a bit of a stretch through the buttock and then extend the leg. Hand behind thigh or calf, or in front of the trouser leg, or even your sock. Some people can get hold of their toes. Keep the leg nice and straight. And again, you can extend the other leg if you want to. Hold that there, just ease it in. And then relax, replace the foot back to the floor. And then just stretching one leg out, then the other leg out. And then the best way you know how, coming up to sitting. Maybe take the arms over the top of your head, breathing in, nod your head, float the arms up towards the ceiling, breathing out, peel yourself off up to sitting position. Or of course you can put the hands behind the lower back and nod the head, press down with the palms of the hands and just push up on the out breath. Or you can roll over onto your side and then push up into sitting. And keeping the legs up nice and straight, reaching the arms forward, shoulders down. And then from here, just do kind of bow and arrow arms. If you just pull that right arm back and bring it forward. And then the left arm back, just turn the head, look at the elbow and bring it forward. So you're squeezing the arm back and looking at the elbow. Keep the back up nice and straight. Now to work those tummy muscles, just tilt the pelvis, roll back, hold to breathe in, and breathing out, bend the elbow back. Push forward and pull up. So breathing in to tilt, breathing out to roll back, hold to breathe in, breathing out, just pull the arm back or look at the elbow, reach forward and pull back up. If that's too much, you just stay with the sitting and pull the arm back to working into your waist a little bit and of course your neck. Otherwise, breathing in to tilt, breathing out to roll back, hold to breathe in. Breathing out to skim the side of your body, look at your elbow, hold to breathe in, breathing out, reach forward and pull up and nice straight back. Breathing in to tilt, breathing out to roll it back, keeping those shoulders down, skim the side of your body, look at the elbow and then reach forward and pull back up. Now if you wanted to make it a little bit more challenging, you could breathe in to tilt, breathing out to roll back, keep the shoulders down, just go back as far as is comfortable and then skim, look at the elbow and then repeat immediately to the other side and push forward and pull up and repeat. So you can just sit and pull your elbow back. You can tilt and roll back and just do one and pull up, or you can do one on either side. Tilting, rolling, keeping the shoulders down, skim the side of your body, look at the elbow, reach forward, skim the side of your body, look at the elbow, reach forward and pull back up. You decide which level. There is another level if you're interested to talk. You can tilt and roll back, skim the side of your body, look at the elbow and then reach back with the arm and pull up, and that will make it a little bit more challenging. And then pull back up maybe, or you could do the same on the other side. You can decide which level. Tilt and roll it back, skim, reach and all the way around, following the hand with the eyes and getting flexibility into the neck and the shoulders. Tilting, rolling back, skim, reach up and over. And if you want to hold, skim, reach up and over and pull back up. So you decide how many you want to do. Really working into that rectus abdominis down the front, transversus keeping you stable, and of course getting flexibility into your neck and your shoulder as well as your spine. And then you repeat that as many times as you want to, and then hug the knees into the chest and drop the head over the knees. Have a little stretch. Hold that there. And then when you've had a bit of a rest there, stretching the legs out, and then just roll gently back, and then bring your hands into prayer position and hold that there, and then just rotate elbow to floor, elbow to floor, getting that big twist on your middle, and just hold and see how many you can do. If that's too much, just stay sitting and keep the hands into prayer and just do the twisting bit. And you're working into the natural corset around your middle. Otherwise, you're rolling back just as far as you can to get your elbow to touch, elbow to touch. Everything below the waist staying still. And then when you've had enough of that, you just pull back up. And again, hug those knees into the chest. Just drop the head over the knees. Have a nice stretch through your back, release your back. And then extend the legs out, reaching forward, tilt the pelvis, and with control, link by link, bone by bone. Remember, you can always put your hands behind you, or you can hold on to one thigh to control the speed at which you roll down. And then once you're down there, just give yourself a big stretch. Stretch through from the tips of your fingers to your toes. Lengthen through the legs. And because you've been working into your waist, cross your right ankle over your left ankle. Take hold of your right wrist with your left hand and do a little bend to that left side. Just bend to the side as far as you can. If that's not comfortable, remember with the shoulders, You can also have the arms down by your side and just slide the hands down, seeing the trouser leg, and bend to your left side. Then when you've got a good stretch there, bring it back into central position and change to the other side. Arms down by your side, or just a big bend, keeping the shoulders down and the hips down. Lift the rib cage away from the hips and lengthen through the legs. Holding that there. Hold and stretch. And then relax and uncross the ankles and roll gently over, please, onto your right side. Taking a moment to set that up. And then taking that right arm back a little bit, so you've got a nice straight line from the fingertips to the back of the head, to the shoulder blades, to the buttocks. And then bend the knees forward, straight forward in front of you. So the knees are a 90-degree angle and the hips are a 90-degree angle. So your shins are pretty much parallel to the edge of the mat. And the back is parallel to the edge of the mat too. Keeping the head down, the neck relaxed. Make sure that shoulder doesn't creep up around the ear. You can always put the hand behind, open the chest and pull the shoulder back and down if that's more comfortable. And then starting to work that outside hip and thigh. Just take a breath in, and as you breathe out, lift the top knee up and breathe in and put it down. And you're taking the foot with it, lift and lower. Just exhale to lift and inhale to lower. No higher than a hip height, so not too high. Try and keep a cup of tea balanced on the outside of the hip there. And then just lift and lower, keeping the torso as stable as you can, so keep your zip up and hollow. And then see if you can lift, straighten the leg out, and then bend and put the leg down. So you keep the thigh on top of the thigh, the knee on top of the knee, and literally just unbend the leg. Flex the foot, push the heel away from you. Then you get some stretch through that hamstring and the calf. Keep the waist lifted off hot stone, so engaged around the middle. Think about having a belt around the middle and pull it into the tightest hole. Lift, extend, and bend and down. And then see if you can add a little something else on. See if you can add an extra lift. Lower, bend, and down. Breathing would be exhale up, inhale, extend, exhale, lift a little bit, inhale, lower a little bit, exhale, bend, and inhale, down. Working that outside hip and thigh, and also a bit of hamstring, bit of hip flexor, and quadricep muscle. Down the front of the thigh. Lift, extend, lift again, lower a little bit, bend, and down. So you should be feeling that outside hip and thigh working now. And the breathing again is exhale up, inhale straighten, exhale up, inhale lower, exhale bend, inhale down. And maybe you could add a little something else if you're not feeling it quite in that outside hip and thigh yet. You can lift, extend, lift, and then pulse it up. Maybe 5 little pulses on an in-breath, 5 little pulses on an out-breath, and that should definitely get you there in that outside hip and thigh. Still keeping the torso as stable as you can, trying to keep the knee over the knee, thigh on top of thigh. Feel the stretch a bit through the buttock as well. Then when you've had enough, lower, bend, and put it down. And then maybe give that outside of the hip and thigh a little bit of a rub and a smack, and get rid of your burn. And then just gently, please, roll over onto your back. Again, take a moment always to set up. Chin down over peach, stretch your fingertips towards your toes. And then shoulder tips, these dackles in line, orange between the knees. And then just drop your right knee down to the side. Side of the foot is on the floor. Keep your glass of Prosecco balanced on that left knee. Then unbend the leg straight out. Then you swing the leg round into alignment again, and then pull the leg back in, staying on that right leg. Maybe exhale out, inhale straighten, exhale swing round, inhale bring it back. And again, try not to allow your left hip to lift off the floor, while you drop the right knee down to the side. Maybe a couple more, keeping that glass of Prosecco balanced on that left knee, working that inner thigh as you drag the leg in. So a little bit out of that, but mainly gravity, quadricep muscle. There's your inner thigh pulling in, and then the hamstring as you pull back up, and then you swap to the other side. Swapping the Prosecco onto that right knee, and then drop, literally unbend, sweep it round, pull it back in. Making sure your back is not lifting. Make sure that that right hip isn't lifting. Getting lots of flexibility into the hip and the knee, but you've really got to switch on those stabilizer muscles, 3 fingers below the tummy button, to make sure that pelvis stays flat with the trade marbles on it. And then maybe just one more time. Drop it out. As you exhale, inhale, straighten. Exhale, sweep round. And inhale to bring it back. And then just hug those knees into the chest again. Have a little rock side to side. Relax the neck, relax the shoulders. And putting one foot down, the other foot down. This time, see if you can lift one knee up into tabletop. And allow that right knee to drop out. Unbend the leg, sweep it round and pull back up. So it's a little bit more challenging. Drop the knee without the hip on the other side lifting. Extend, sweep it round and pull it back up. So again, the Prosecco is balanced on the left knee while you work with your right leg. Keep that left hip on the floor. Sweep it round, pull back up. If there's a bit of clunking in the hip, that's fine, as long as it's not hurting. If it's hurting, you put your foot back onto the floor. But a bit of clunking is okay. It's probably just your ligaments complaining a bit, but they'll be fine. And then replace that foot to the floor, swap the Prosecco over, and go with the left leg. Drop the knee, unbend, sweep it round, pull it back up. Don't forget to check you've still got your peach underneath your chin, between your chin and your chest. Exhale out, inhale straighten, exhale sweep it round, inhale pull it back. Maybe 2 more. Making sure that your other knee stays absolutely still, as does your pelvis. Extend, sweep, and pull back in and replace the foot. And again, just hug those knees into the chest. Have a little rock side to side. If you wanted to make that a little bit harder, what you could do is put one foot down, the other foot down, brace the tummy, and take a breath in. And as you breathe out, lift one knee up into tabletop, press your back into the mat, lift the other leg up into tabletop, and you go with the same thing again, but with both feet off the floor. So you drop, extend, sweep, and pull. Do alternates. Drop, extend, sweep round, and pull. That's too much, of course. You go back to one foot on the floor, or even both feet on the floor. So it's drop, extend, sweep round, pull up. But making sure all the time that torso stays absolutely stable while you do that. Now if you wanted to work it even harder, you could do both legs together. But that, of course, is much more challenging, particularly that bit there, as you pull back in. But you can decide, you can stay with the alternates, you can have one foot on the floor, you can have both feet on the floor, but making sure that whichever one you do, your back is not arching off that grape. Nice and smooth, lots of flexibility for your hips and your knees. Maybe one more time. Just drop, unbend, sweep round just as low as you can, and pull back in. And then hugging those knees in again. Little rock side to side. Remember, you can always do more if you want to. Then hands on the knees, pushing them around in a circle. Just release that lower back again, encouraging that flexibility into your hips. Change direction, make it go the other way. Circling, circling, just as big as you can, and release that lower back. And then just putting one foot down, the other foot down, bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees flop apart. Stretch those inner thighs. Let the weight of your legs take your knees towards the floor. Maybe slide the heels a little bit closer in towards your body and let the weight of your legs just do the work there. Relax into the stretch. Hold that there, encouraging that flexibility into your hips as well as stretching the inner thigh. Then stretch the legs out, and then we need to roll onto your left side. So if you just want to go the best way you know how onto your left side. Let the head rest. Take a moment to set that up again. Arm back, nice straight line, fingertips back of the head, shoulder blades, buttocks and heels. And then you bend the knees forward, so you've got the 90-degree angle at the hip and the knee. Waist lifted a little bit off that little flat hot stone. Maybe take that top hand behind you just to support you back and pull the shoulder back and down. And then keeping the shins about a 90-degree angle from the knee, so parallel to the edge of the mat. Exhale to lift and inhale to lower. Just lift and lower, always exhaling on the effort. Keeping your torso as stable as you can and the waist lifted. No higher than the hip, because remember you're going to add in that extension from the knee in a moment to work that outside hip a little bit harder and get some flexibility into the knee. So you lift, extend, bend and down. Exhale up, inhale straighten, exhale bend and inhale down. Nice and smooth. So lots of flexibility for the knee as well, and the ankle, because you're pushing the heel away from you. Getting some length through the back of the leg as well, and through your buttock actually. So a bit of stretch through the buttock too. Exhale up, inhale straighten, exhale bend, inhale down. Of course, like with any of the other exercises, you can always knock this back a level if you need to. You can always just stay with the bent leg. Exhale up, inhale straighten, exhale bend, inhale down. Stay with that if you want to, or if you're not getting quite into that outside hip and thigh, you hold it up there and you do your little pulses. 5 little pulses on an in-breath, 5 little pulses on an out-breath. Holding that there till you really feel that outside hip and thigh work and you think, oh, I really don't want to do any more of those. And once you feel like that, then you just bending the knee and bring it all the way back down again. Give the outside of the hip a little rub and a smack. Just get rid of the burn. And then from there, gently please, roll over onto your front. So you just stretch out and roll over. Forehead on the floor, if that is comfortable. If it's not, just turn your head to the side, let your cheek rest. Lengthen through the legs, take them out into a wider V shape. Just to start with, turn the big toes in and the heels out. And then if you can, stretch the arms out so you're making yourself into a sort of starfish. If that's not comfortable with the arms, if your shoulders don't like that, you can always have the hands out to the side and then bend the elbows at a 90-degree angle. So you would do crucifix and then bend the elbows, or you can have the arms down by your side. Palms turned up, reaching back. But if you can, you're going for that starfish position. Lengthen through the arms, keep the shoulders down. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, lift the upper body. And breathe in to go down. So you can have the forehead on the floor, or head turned to the side, cheek resting, and then lift, turn the head, and then the cheek goes down, or you can have the forehead. And then lift, make sure you, whichever one you're doing, you're not engaging your neck, you're engaging your back. If it's not comfortable, remember, you can do that with the arms or that with the arms. You can decide. If you're in that starfish position, you're not getting much help with the arms. Try to lift with your back, not press down. Exhale up and inhale to lower. And then just relax back down and then see if you can do alternate arms. You didn't hear that because I had my head down. Alternate arms. Lift and lower, but keeping your torso as stable as you can. Exhaling up, inhaling down, keep the neck relaxed. And then what about opposite arm and leg? So you would lift your left arm on your right leg and then swap, keeping that starfish shape. So working across your back and into your buttock. Shoulder working, core muscle to keep you stable in the center. Now, if you wanted to, you could lift head and shoulders as well. But if that's too much, you can leave the head on the floor. You can just do the legs only. You could just do the arms only. You can do any combination with this. Back working as you lift that upper body. But don't forget your peach and your plank of wood on the back of your head. Then of course you could go with both arms and both legs. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Now if that's too much, you can leave the arms on the floor, lift the upper body and just the legs. Or you could leave the head down and just lift the arms and the legs. But that, of course, wouldn't work your back. But you can also stay with alternate opposite arm and leg, with or without the head and shoulders off the floor. Lift and lower. Don't forget that peach. Make sure there's no strain on the neck. You do as many repetitions as you want to. And make sure you do equal numbers on both sides if you're alternating. And then just relax back down. And then you need to stretch, so come up onto the hands and knees. Arch the back, drop the head, pull the tummy button up and in. Then you can always come up onto your knuckles if you're not comfortable on the palms. If you're on your palms, maybe spread the fingers to spread the load and just do a big arch. Tuck that pelvis under, look between the knees so the ears are pointing as much as you can towards the floor. When you've had a good stretch through the spine, just sit back onto the heels. Let the forehead rest down. Maybe take the arms behind you, palms up. If that's not comfortable, of course, you can sit on your bottom, swing your legs round in front of you. Put that big beach ball on your lap, reach over the beach ball for your toes and tuck the pelvis under the ball. Or you can sit and hug the knees into the chest, drop the head over the knees. Have the arms still back in front. Or if you find that your hips are lifting to get the head down, try and keep the hips down. Make a fist, put your head on the fist if you need to. You can put the other fist on top of it, but the important bit is to keep those hips right down. Stretch lower back and buttocks. Maybe open those knees a little bit. Really get those hips right back. Breathing still full and wide. Hold and stretch. And coming up into a sitting position. Just stretch the legs out, sitting up nice and tall. Put the right foot over the left thigh. Wrap that left arm around that right thigh. Hug the leg right into the chest. Feel that stretch on the outside of the hip and thigh. Put that right hand behind, sit up tall and rotate and look over that right shoulder. Hug that knee right into the chest. So you've got a really good stretch in that outside hip and thigh. Maybe twist that a little bit further if you can. And then unknot the legs. And cross that left foot over. Hug it right in. Put that left hand behind, sit up tall. And rotate. Look over the shoulder. Really hug right in so you get that good stretch in the outside hip and thigh. Maybe twist that little bit further. Hold that there. And then just relax. Legs straight or bent or crossed. Now, if you find this is uncomfortable sitting, just get a cushion and pop it underneath your bottom, and that should help to straighten you back. And then shoulders back and down, lengthening up. Right hand, palm down underneath the buttock and sit upon it. And drop your left ear into your shoulder. Just use the weight of the head to stretch the neck. Hold that there. And then release, lengthen up, slide those shoulder blades down, drop the chin all the way down into the chest. Use the weight of the head to stretch the back of the neck. Hold that there. Shoulders right down, slide the shoulder blades down, but keep the back up nice and straight. Tummy still pulled up and in, feeling that pelvic floor lift a little bit still. Then lifting the head up, left hand palm down underneath the buttock, sit on that one. And drop your right ear, shoulders down. Lengthen through the neck and the shoulder. Hold and stretch. And then just relax, release. Shoulders back and down, still back up nice and straight. Keep the peach underneath the chin, turn the head and look as far as you can over that right shoulder. And then slowly turn the head and look as far as you can over the left shoulder. And then just drop the chin all the way down into the chest again. Just encouraging that flexibility into the neck. Lifting the head, release the shoulders forward, up and round and back and down. Getting those shoulders moving again. And there we are. There's session number 20. And please remember that you can get in touch at any point and just say if there is anything you feel I'm missing out or not doing enough of, any particular parts of the body that you would like to focus on. Please just let me know. Unfortunately, with the way COVID is at the moment, it looks like we're going to have to continue with this for at least a little while longer. But thank you very much for sticking with me. And again, always many thanks for the contributions that you've been sending. Very kind. And sorry, Jeremy, about lack of fancy dress. See you all next week. Bye for now.